Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michele Alignay. It's a wonderful Thursday with you. It's another month. It's February. It's the month of love. It's the month of pink, love, and roses because it's Valentine's month. But I would like us to sit down together and talk about ourselves, talk about change, talk about whatever's happening to us. So I would like us to explore this topic about change. So this is the continuation of my live cast the other day called Taking Charge of Change. So how do we really take charge of change? So ito yung karugtong ng pag-uusapan natin. Pero alam nyo, I really invite you. Upuan natin tong topic na to. Get your coffee, get your tea, because I would like us to go deeper. The other day, we talk about why is it so hard for us to change? Ano ba yung pagbabago? Bakit hirap na mahirap tayong magbago? What is our human tendencies? And why is it's so hard for us to maybe commit, to maybe to continue pursuing something? So this afternoon, so either you're listening via replay, either you're listening via YouTube or Spotify, or of course here in Facebook. Know that I'm doing it every 1 p.m. Manila time because I have friends who are actually listening from abroad. So I would like us to look into what really happens to us when we change. And what I would like us to reflect about is that we need to take charge of change. For those of you friends who are here, can you put that in the comment section? Take charge of change. We all need to take charge of change. We all need to be responsible. Bakit kailangan nating baguhin ang isang bagay? And alam ko pare-pareho tayo na parang pagpasok pa lang ng January, ang dami nating gustong baguhin, ang dami nating gustong ayusin, ang dami natin mga bagay na gustong i-instill sa bahay, sa sistema, and of course, we have a lot of political changes happening. So we really hope that change will be really for good and we're going to be at the pink of health because of our change. So I would like us to reflect about taking charge of change. So for those of us na may pinagdaan ng pagbabago, bakit ba tayo nahihirapan? Ano ba yung tingin natin when we are asked to change? Ano ba yung tingin natin? Ano ba yung, how do we look at circumstances? So, for those of you who are here, you can just share this to family and friends, and you can also comment in the comment section. Why is it, what do we see when we are asked to change? When circumstances push us to the wall, ano ang tingin natin? Bakit kailangan natin magbago? Ano ang tingin natin sa isang bagay na kailangan nating baguhin? Do we see it as a threat? Do we see it as an opportunity? I think many of us are programmed that we see it as a threat to our security, a threat to our self-worth, di ba? Parang may nagbago sa sistema, parang feeling natin we are victim of our circumstances. But let's look at that also that it might be an opportunity. So I would like to start. We know that things change daily. Sa araw-araw, kaya the other day, I really explained, whenever we talk about change, and we talk about, let's just focus first on pag-ibig. Ayan, Feb-ibig. Let's focus on love. Focus on commitment. Let's focus on relationship. When we talk about it, we don't really see it as a way to be able to change. Ayaw natin na nagbabago yung pag-ibig, di ba? Narinig nyo na yon when we were younger. I hope your love will never change. I hope that you'll still remain the same. And that could be true, but is it healthy? I would say no, because it's not healthy if we will not change. We know that every day, pagising natin, alam nyo, may pagbabago. May pagbabago ng date, may pagbabago sa disposition natin, may pagbabago sa hormones, may pagbabago sa angle ng araw, may pagbabago sa mga bagay na gagawin. So each day is actually an opportunity for us to change. And I think one of the things that we need to realize is that many people are actually resisting the change in the seasons of their lives. 'Di ba? Parang they keep comparing how they are now to how they were when they were younger. In the just earlier, I saw our pictures 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when the world it's still open, and there's the pandemic, it's still looming. Alam natin na may virus, but it's not a pandemic yet. We've seen that I saw our photos and I realized parang 2 years ago lang pala yun, but parang ang daming iba sa itsura. So, that alone, we don't really see it, but we are actually changing. Ang dami nang nagbabago sa atin. We don't really take note because we are already immersed. Tayo yun eh. Pero hindi natin nakikita. Paaraw-araw ang dami nagbabago. At ang sabi ko kanina, marami nagre-resist sa changes ng season. Hindi ito yung winter, spring, summer, or fall. But we actually resist the changing seasons of our lives. And then many parents, they feel frustrated because hindi nila maintindihan yung mga anak nila. Bakit nagbago yung anak ko? Nagbabago kasi sila dahil they're teenagers. They are in the process of getting to know who they are. Nagbago yung pagtingin yung mag-asawa. Maybe because you are both in your midlife marriage na iba ang sitwasyon when you're together as a couple when you were younger na nagpapakyut, na iba pa yung realidad ng buhay when you were younger. Pag in newly married couple, diba, ito yung packaging ng stress. Pero when you're in making ends meet, raising a family, having kids, and even taking care of your adult parents and extended family members, nag-iiba rin yung demands ng buhay. So, technically, ang daming nangyayari. So each day actually presents us, each season of our lives, each year presents us with an opportunity to change and to evolve. So how are you with that? The thing is, if we keep resisting, we're gonna break. That's why a lot of people go into the deep end, go into depression, go into a lot of frustration because they keep comparing the then and now. They would like what works for them before to still works for them now. But there are some things that used to work perfectly before may not operate better now. Kailangan nating ayusin, kailangan nating i-tweak ng konti. We need some kind of change. So there you go. Can you relate with what I'm saying? From pandemic to now, ano ang nagbago sa atin? Bago tayo mag-lockdown, anong nagbago sa inyo? Is it our waistline? Is it our eating habits? Is it our sleeping habits? Is it our inner disposition? Or we can all say that I am stronger than 2 years ago, physically and emotionally and spiritually. Pwede rin yun. Hindi lang natin nakikita. Another thing that I would like us to reflect before I move on to really how do we really take charge of change, I would like you to realize that when things change, we see them as possibilities that add layers to our personhood. Let's look at change as opportunities for us to grow. Let's look at change that, hey, ang pangit ng nangyayari, alam kong ayoko, I have a lot of resistance. But if I go through this, pag napagdaanan ko to, it will add a new layer. It will add a new dimension. It will increase my strength. It will make me more resilient. It will make me a better person. So I think that's a very good disposition when we talk about change. Isn't it? Na parang we look at it as an opportunity. Can you all say it with me? Change can be an opportunity. So, di ba, ang ganda niyang makita. And now, when we take charge of ourselves, actually, when we take charge of the change and we, hindi lang tayo basta nagpadala sa pagbabago, hindi tayo nagpadala sa agos, kung hindi, we really look into it and check, hey, how can I learn from this? How can I evolve? Yung change, para kayo nakipagkape sa lahat ng nangyayari, and then you really try to reflect. When we take charge of ourselves, we have the power to cope differently. Yun yung maganda doon. Taking charge is just not letting life bring you. Kung ano na lang yung sabihin, tatanggapin mo na lang. Kung ano na lang yung isuggest, kung ano na lang yung dati mong paniniwala, kahit toxic na, kahit nasaktan ka na, kahit niloko ka na, gusto mo pa rin doon kasi ayaw mong magbago, kasi eto na yung nakagawian. And that can be very toxic. Kailangan ko siyang iinom ng kape, friends. So, if you're here with me, so we have the ability to actually cope differently. Ang thing is that, di ba, it's so uncomfortable. Change is actually so uncomfortable. Change can actually be so uncertain. Change can actually sweep us off our feet. And we have the ability to learn that we have to make a new map for our lives. through the change, it's actually making a new map. And that's the goal why we need to change. Okay, hindi nag-work na to. O kaya, hindi ko na madaanan yung dati kong daan. Napagdaanan ko na and then now what? So, it's actually an opportunity to make a new map. So, pwedeng start from scratch, pwedeng pick up the pieces and then change, pwedeng put the learnings together. But then, what we need to learn is actually we can cope differently. Can you all say it with me? We can cope differently. Can you type it there in the comments? We can cope differently. And when we start coping differently, it's actually the basis of making a new map for our lives. The pandemic life, the post-pandemic life, di ba? So, di ba, ang ganda lang na kahit na napakadami natin lahat na pinagdaanan ngayong pandemya, at the end of the day, we will realize that ang dami ko palang natutunan, ang daming nabago sa akin, ang daming nag-improve. Yun ang maganda doon, friends. Ang daming nag-improve. At ang dami kong pwedeng ibahagi sa iba. So, it's something, my topic is not very popular, but I know that it's needed to be talked about, right? For those of you who are here, it's not actually, as I said, very popular, but can actually help us very much in coping with life. So, how do we take charge of change? How do we do that? I'm not going to give you with steps. I'm going to give you mindsets. I'm going to give you reflection points. Again, I like doing that. So one, you know, ano bang kinakatakot natin, 'di ba? We're afraid to take risk. Gustong-gusto ko yung narinig ko sa isa kong kaibigan na, okay, pag may nangyaring krisis, pag may nangyaring risk sa buhay, actually kung may nawalang finances, kung nasaktan tayo ng lubos, it's actually the good point to consider there. It's actually the taking risk. It's actually the minimum payoff is that we learn something. We learn something about ourselves. We learn something about life. We learn something to be able to cope better. Does that make sense? The minimum payoff for change is actually we learn. Diba? Baka ma-reject, takot sa rejection kaya ayaw mag-change. Yes, but you've learned. You've learned kung sinong kaibigan mo. You've learned kung ano talaga yung character mo at character na ibang tao. When you change, nakita mo na parang, okay, this may work now, but it may not work later. You've checked your values. You've learned what is more important. So, diba? It's a win-win situation. For me, yes, we lose some, but in the end, we win a lot, especially if it's us who's going to benefit. So the minimum payoff of risk is change. But how do we really take charge? One, check your old belief. Check your old usual belief. Applicable pa ba? Yung mga ways mo to help yourself. Yung mga sinasabi mong, ito yung lifestyle ko, ito yung buhay ko, ito yung gusto ko pre-pandemic. Are they still the same now? Yung mga what you thought will make you happy then, pre-pandemic, are they still the same now? Yan yung maganda nating makita. Are they still the same, friends? Because mind you, baka hindi na. Baka akala lang natin. Am I making sense? Akala lang natin ito yung makakatulong. Hindi na pala. Akala lang na, and sometimes we get too comfortable with an old shoe. Parang okay na ako, sanay na ako dun sa brand na yun. Sanay na ako dito sa sapatos ko to. Hindi ko mo na-realize na pwede pa palang mag-improve, may mas komportable pa pala. Kasi ayaw mo mag-try, ayaw mo mag-risk. So, check if your old or usual belief are still applicable now. Because mind you, baka kalahati ng lifestyle natin, kalahati ng paniniwala natin, especially the non-essential, baka yan yung mga bagay na iwanan na natin sa pre-pandemic yan. Hindi na natin yan kailangan ngayong pandemic. Meron ba kayong bagay na ganyan, friends? Paki-comment nga dyan. We cope differently, baka ma-reject, hindi team replay, hi Mia, yes. Can you comment there? Ano yung bagay na, what is your old belief that is no longer applicable? Meron na ba kayong iniwanan? Okay, goodbye to the pre-pandemic. Ako, ang isa kong iniwanan, akala ko sabi ko, I really deserve always a very good nail nail spa and mani pedi. Isa yan talaga, parang every other week, it's a must for me. Yan lang yung sabi ko, that's really my luxury. But pwede palang wala. Pwede palang walang kaartehan na ganon. So I do my own nails. And my nails have not seen nail polish for the last 2 years. Which before, my feet, kailangan, sabi ko, lagi akong colored toenails. My hands is always clean cut, but sabi ko pwede pala, and I really honor myself for, ang babaw, pero para kami isang bagay na parang na let go, and okay, it's not needed, it's no longer applicable. Before, we always would, for example, with my work, I would always be in front of people. I will be holding the microphone. I will be either teaching in front of the classroom, either talking to a conference or to a big seminar. But now, you know, it's actually very good that I'm learning, and I've learned that, I'm very effective also in doing webinars, in doing online sessions, and in teaching online, di ba? Ang saya. And then I even have graduate school students who are abroad and who are not in Manila. So that is amazing because that's actually evolving. Somebody said, akala ko working out sa gym lang, pwede ko rin pala maging healthy and fit working at home. Agree, because, I cannot, for me, I've been working from home. I've been working from home and I've been doing my yoga classes at home. So ngayon, pati yung yoga teacher ko, online na lang, di ba? And we can do it. And the magic thing here is that, akala ko pag nandun lang ako sa studio, saka mako-correct at masastretch ng aking magaling na teacher yung body ko. Hindi pala. Kahit naka-Zoom class kami, my amazing teacher from Urban Ashram, my God, nakikita niya yung angle ng likod, angle ng muscle ko, kung kailangan ko pang stretch, kailangan ko pang expand. So, totoo yan. So, we have to leave what is no longer. I'm not saying that what we have in the pre-pandemic are not okay now. No, we have to learn to sift through, to check what is no longer helpful now. If it's no longer helpful, then change is needed. So check, friends. Check your old usual belief if they are no longer applicable. The second, be comfortable with the unknown. Ito yung mahirap. Marami sa atin, hindi ko alam, natatakot ako. Ayokong mag-take risk. We don't want to explore the unknown grounds. Ayaw nating sumubok ng iba kasi hindi natin alam. Yes, may mga bagay talaga that non-negotiable, but there are just some situations that we put ourselves in a lot of pressure, we put ourselves a lot of pressure, and it triggers also a lot of anxiety in us if we are trying to control the unknowns. But life is like that. So one thing, that to be able to take charge, we have to remind ourselves, we have to be comfortable that there will be some things na hindi ko alam. Papasukin ko tong trabahong to, I'm not sure if mahirap, pero I'm sure meron akong kapasidad. Papasukin na ko tong buhay na to, buhay ng ministry or buhay ng mission life, mag-serve ako, hindi ko alam kung, kaya pag may nagtatanong ng something, some people are so sigurista. Okay ba? Depende. Ang sagot lang naman dyan, depende. Kasi what is okay for me might not be okay for you. Pag tinanong mahirap, lahat ng bagay mahirap. 'Di ba? Lahat ng bagay mahirap, but depende rin lang sa atin 'yan. So, we have to be comfortable with the unknown. Alam mo 'yan, Mia. Salamat for repeating that. So, that's a second. Be comfortable with the unknown. The third, explore new possibilities. Huwag tayong ma-stuck na kung ano yung kulay ng buhok natin at kung ano lang yung itsura natin lagi. Yun na yun. Yung parang yun na itsura mo ng 20s, yun na itsura mo ng 30s, pati ba naman 40s and 50s, yun pa rin. Ito yung talagang hindi ka na nag-evolve. So, we have to learn that we have to use our energies to explore new possibilities. We can choose two things, friends. And I always share this whenever I give talks, even in coffee break. Either you choose to fight the past, or you choose now to put your energies in exploring new possibilities. We can always say na parang, for example, kung meron kang isang bagay na working well in the pre-pandemic, meron kang negosyo, meron kang love life, meron kang isang project, you have to check where is it going. You have to check kung saan ko nga ba nilagay yung enerhiya ko. Inaway ko ba yung mga tao? Kasi kailangan kong kumite, kailangan kong gawin to eh. You have to always check where is your energy going and where is your possibility going. Is it fighting off the past? Trying to, na dapat kasi ganito ginawa ko. Blaming people, blaming circumstances, but you did not focus on exploring new possibilities, mga bagay na pwede kong mabago, mga bagay na okay, ito yung hinihingi ng pagkakataon, baka ito na yung call namin, nagkasakit kami ng COVID, anong new possibility doon? Maybe a new lifestyle, maybe a new diet, maybe change in sleeping patterns so everybody in the house can have higher immunity. So there you go, exploring new possibilities. And anong new possibility that you explored this pandemic, friends? Yung alam mo na parang nakakatakot, pero yung iba pumasok sa, ako personally pumasok ako sa negosyo. Pumasok ako sa uh, hindi ko siya gustong negosyo yung dati. Pero sabi ko, okay, I'm going to sell my soaps and my balms to family and friends who might be interested. And then it's so fun. It's so fun because maraming nabibless because I make healing balms. So, ang daming nabibless pala. Ang daming nabibless doon sa ginagawa ko. Pero nung una, parang ayoko kasi hassle. Ayoko kasi parang um, hindi ako, hindi yan yung hindi ko core gift mag-sell. Ayan. Pero when I did that, I realized na pwede pala, and I will just schedule. And it's actually helping me be sane in this pandemic. So those are actually exploring new possibilities. Where is your energy going, friends? So if there is change confronting you, lagi yung tanongin sarili nyo, where is my energy going? Fighting off the past or checking out or exploring new possibilities. Kasi tingnan nyo, baka ang dami nating ang dami nating drama, sayang yung energy, sayang ang skincare, sayang ang self-care, kung mahaharas lang tayo dahil na wala naman tayong magagawa kahit magngangaw-ngaw tayo. Okay lang yung magngangaw-ngaw sandali and then after that, we're good. So, that's the number one. As I said, check your usual belief. Meron ba kayo naisip, friends? Pakisulat nga dyan kung you're brave enough to tell me what is it that your usual belief na no longer applicable, hindi na nakakatulong. The second, know that you are going to be uncomfortable. So, second tip, be comfortable with the unknown. And the third, explore new possibilities. Always check where is your energy going. Always go where there are new opportunities and growth points for you to reflect about. So, and that's about it. And this is my last point. I realize that many people are always asking, so paano nga? How did you do it? Many people are asking me, how did you do your PhD while raising your kids? How did you do this if while you're working? So, una, meron akong paniniwala, and this is something that I wrote in my Beauty of 40 book. I wrote there that we can have it all, but not all at the same time. And so, in taking charge of change, isa-isa lang yung pwede nating baguhin. Hindi pwedeng lahat ng gusto nating baguhin. Kasi may magka-suffer. So, we can have it all, not just all at the same time. So, lagi kong iniisip yan. So, posible ngayon, hindi when I was studying, ganun yung paniniwala ko na itong stage ng buhay ko to, kung anong meron ako, i-maximize ko, pero hindi ko naman lahat makukuha yung gusto ko. I cannot earn the way that I would like to because I'm still studying or I'm still raising my kids. So hindi lahat makukuha. And then I take charge little by little of what I do. So if people are asking me, so anong ginawa mo? How did you were able to make it? Ang sagot ko, I make it as I go along. Honestly, wala naman kasing meron magagandang tips, meron magagandang helpful hacks on how to do life and how to navigate change. But you know, friends, it always depends on us. And sometimes, the more that we cling, ito realization ko, the more that we subscribe to too many mindsets na dapat daw ganito dapat daw may ganito, dapat. Ang dami nating paniniwalaan na dapat. Walang masama, pero at the end of the day, we still have to be uncomfortable kasi hindi natin alam kung paano. And we use little by little the snippets of wisdom that we get from people, we get from mindsets, even with me, friends. Hindi naman ina-apply lahat ng sinabi ko. So ako rin ganon. Okay to sa akin. This works for me. So we get little by little because at the end of the day, we take charge. At the end of the day, we are responsible. At the end of the day, it's us. It's not me. That's why when people say na parang paano mo nga nagawa, I don't know. Let me just say that I make it as I go along. If change is there, una tanggapin yung change. Accept the change that it's there. And the second is that there are known things, hindi ko pa alam kung ano mangyayari, but you make it as you go along. Use your energy and explore possibilities because at the end of the day, little by little, we make it as we go along para hindi tayo malunod on change. Oh, magka-change ako. Hindi ko pa alam yung mangyayari in the next month. Sabihin natin sa sarili natin, we make it as we go along. Can you all say it with me? Kung meron tayong desisyon na kailangan gawin ngayon, we make it as we go along. Kung meron tayong mga bagay na parang, wow, parang ang bigat, hindi ko kaya, we make it as we go along. And alam nyo, today, I will just end with this. My Bible reading, it's actually about uh, just being connected with the Lord because it's impossible to do anything without Him. Diba? And if we make it as we go along, we just simply learn to surrender to Him. We just simply, ayan, Bel, tama, radical surrender yan, malaki impact sa akin, totoo. Because we make it as we go along, it's surrendering, Lord, ito po ginawa ko, dapat lang may effort natin na hindi puro si Lord. We make it we make it together as we go along. Diba ang ganda? We make it as we go along, but we make it with the Lord together as we go along. Lord, tulungan mo ako, nahihirapan po ako dito. Hindi ko po alam yung susunod. Tulungan mo ako, Lord. Diba? That's we make it as we go along. And how we take charge of change? We take charge of change by actually learning that the Lord will sustain us. The Lord who give us all these talents, give us this life, will actually sustain us. Kahit gusto natin maging sigurista 100% at alam kung ano mangyayari. Pero friends, ang buhay, maraming surprise, maraming twist and turns, para lang siyang mga surge at lockdowns natin. Maraming mga hindi natin na malamalay, ay, eto na naman pala. Yun ang totoong buhay, friends. You know, this pandemic, it's actually just a reflection of how real life is. And we make it as we go along. Is this helpful for you? So really, we have to radically surrender everything to the Lord because we cannot do anything without Him. So let's invite Him to be part of our everyday lives, how we change things. And I'll end with what Belle said, the Serenity Prayer. Lord, if you remember that, if you know that Serenity Prayer, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Tanggapin ang mga bagay na hindi ko kayang tanggapin. Courage to change the things I can't. Courage to change the things I can't. And the wisdom to know the difference. Ganda. And you know what? Sometimes, ang biggest na kailangan natin baguhin is how we think and how we live. I hope that this coffee break has helped you. Medyo malalim, makaming masakit, pero friends, ganoon naman talaga yung buhay. Kailangan nating laliman. So, if this coffee break is blessing you, please share this to family and friends, and I would really appreciate it if you can support Coffee Break by sending Facebook stars, or you can shoot me a message, and then I can give you the GCash details that you can give your love and support for Coffee Break. So I hope, friends, that you make it as you go along, and that I pray that when life gives you change, you see it as an opportunity for God to be God. God bless everybody. See you again next week for Coffee Break.